Hello, and welcome back to Burrows. Oh my god, I'm so excited for this, and they have a new main menu screen, and it looks great. You have Virgil looking all ominous, and I think Hero's design and personality was really boring. But you got Gray and Gabriel's a QT, and you got Mark and Ken, that was his name, right? Ah, they look great in suits though. Jesus. I will mention, there is this thing, and at first I was like, oh good, does this just censor like the visuals? And then I read that no, it doesn't. It skips the sex scenes entirely, and I don't know if I like that. I guess tell me which option you want. I think I want to keep it on, and I'll just personally censor the stuff, but I like to hear you guys' opinions, so tell me if you want that on or off. On or off, yeah. Whatever. You know what I mean, but oh, feels like I've been waiting for like a month and a half for this. Even though, no, it wasn't that long ago. It was only back. I've only been waiting a month. What? And, whew. I don't know. That seems like so long ago, but yeah, I'm just gonna get in there. And I remember that was the last line. So, Monday, it's December 27th. Oh, we're in New York still with Mark, and oh, he's got a nice bathroom. What the fuck? He's got a nice bath. He's got this area for showering. Like, bruh. I splash some cold water on my face to help me wake up. I instinctively go to check my face in the mirror, only to be met with an empty reflection. Guess I should get used to that. I hope I don't look like a complete mess, even if it does help my alibi. Although, Mark was pretty nice to me even before I cleaned up. Since sight isn't going to help, let's go to the next best thing. I take a whiff under my arms. Nothing too egregious. Possums are naturally always a little musky, so it's hard to tell how I come off to other species. Maybe Mark's into that. I mean, he's a posh guy, sure, but maybe he likes to get dirty on the side. This is New York. Who knows what the rich get up to here? Man, we're already getting into the musky stuff, right? Yeah. Tell me, are you into that in the comments? I want to know. Because it appears in every single one of these games. I grab my shirt from the drying rack and inspect it. Mark was nice enough to let me run it through the washer overnight. It's probably... I'll probably need to borrow some heavier clothing if we're going to go be outside all day. I can't help but feel like a charity case. At some point, I'll have to find a way to pay him back for all of this. Owing people never sat right with me. That's why I left home in the first place. But in the end, all I did was hurt more people. Coffee's on. Coming. Alright, game time. Today's going to be great. I threw on my shirt and make my way to the common area. Mark sitting on the couch reading the newspaper. 2 steaming cups sit on the coffee table. He leans down to grab one and grins as he sees me. Well, feeling better? I made sure to brew a French toast for you. Oh, excuse me. Threw plenty of sugar cubes in there to boot. I smile and take a seat. The intoxicating smell of freshly brewed coffee is waking me up more than the cold water did. I take a nice big sip. This is really, really good coffee. I'm glad you approve. I ordered these from a small shop in the village. And they order it for a small cafe in Paris. Who I guessed orders it from Cuba, huh? Wait, not Cuba, Colombia. That's what I get for not actually reading. Talk about a roundabout way to get a cup of joe. At least it's sweet this time. He nods and sets the newspaper down to stretch, complete with a big, dopey canine yawn. He hasn't changed out of his robe. I can get a good look at his body, now that I've calmed down. I can't believe how dense his fur is. It's soft, but still kind of shaggy, with tufts curled up in thick patches all over his chest and stomach. Not bad musculature for a man his age either, though I'm only guessing. He looks maybe 32, 33? His clothes must be custom tailored to fit him perfectly, or I would have noticed his cute belly, little belly sooner. Etienne was cut like marble, but I've always been a sucker for more average body types. I always joked that once I learned how to cook, I'd fatten him up into the perfect chunky lapdog. Luckily for him, I can't cook worth a damn. When I'm done ogling, I realize I've been staring for a while and look up to see Mark staring back. He laughs awkwardly. See something strange? Oh, no, I mean, yes? Your body, it's very red. I'm not great at flirting to begin with, but that was definitely not my best work. Yes, very observant, Mr. Gray. Oh, don't patronize me. I want to kill myself again. Honestly, it's so red I get mistaken for a fox all the time. I always have to show him the mane to prove I'm part of the canine club. Honestly, I'd never met a maned wolf up until now, and I see the similarity, but I've met enough foxes to know the difference. The number of differences between the fox's abundance, yeah, there we go, abundance of sex pheromones. Most critters smell something before before we see it, and you can absolutely tell when it's a fox and it's in the mood. Canines have better control over the chemical side of body language, but can't hide the physical signs very well. I notice Mark's tail is wagging. Do you want to see? Sure. I am kind of curious, all things considered. He faces away from me and tugs his robe down, exposing his back. What I thought was just a tuft of dark hair extended all the way down like a mohawk. It trails down his spine to the base of his tail, thinning out right above where I imagine his ass is. Can I touch it? Go ahead. I shampooed it and everything. I run my hand down the length of it. It almost feels like it's like a horse's mane. The substance to it, since it holds its shape, but my fingers glide through it like normal hair. Normal hair? Oh, okay. I get to the small of his back and stop. Well, I did it. I pull away and he lifts his robe back over his shoulders. I did want to see how far it went, but let's not get frisky with a complete stranger just yet, alright? Been down that road enough times. Whoa, now you're part of an elite club. Oh? I touched Mark's mane and all I got was this lousy shirt and all. We laugh and finish our coffee. He walks to the bedroom to change before we head out, and I grab the newspaper, curious as to what's happening in this future. I flip it over to the front page to skim the headlines of today. Tensions rise as civil rights protesters continue to clash with the NYPD. PKI resistance in Indonesian squashed. U.S. backs new order. Number of heroin addicts soar and drug epidemic spreads to suburbs. Well, that was a bummer. Man, Gray, you should read some of our headlines. Knowing race is still an issue makes my heart sink. It felt like things were slowly improving back in my time. Darkford folks owned almost every club and restaurant on our block. Simon and Edian were making good money too. But it was nothing compared to how my family lived, and the mayor and governor were still Paleford at the end of the day. I have to remember that I'm in a bubble when it comes to this stuff. I've had Ghostface and Turncoat hissed at me enough times to know it takes more than a good intentions to convince anyone I'm truly with the cause. I shake off the negative thoughts and take our dirty cups over to the sink. The least I could do while I'm here for free to clean up after myself. Mark's kitchen was still was small and tidy. The pots and pans hanging on the wall looked like they'd never been used. A thin layer of dust outlining each one confirms my suspicion. Ah, well, if I had this kind of money again, it's not like I'd eat my own shitty cooking either. Almost ready. You mind if I pick out a coat for you? Okay, nothing too flashy, please. Out of curiosity, I check the fridge. Electric. Fancy. I pop it open and 3 bottles of beer in a takeout box? Yep, that's what I expected. That's a nice look. He's... Whew. Mark returns and tosses a dry cleaning bag over the couch. He's wearing a sharp overcoat. I think you'll approve. I zip open the bag, not sure what to expect. Let's see. It's an, ulster? Where... Okay, let's... I want to look this up for reasons, you know. What is... Yeah, okay, but how is it pronounced? No, I want... Let's see here. You know, these how to pronounce... I went to one that's, like, text-based. And this looks like literal gibberish. I don't know what this is. It's Ulster now. Fine tweed and in black. It wouldn't be out of place in my own time. Mark really does have an eye for fashion. Wow, this is very nice. Right? I thought it'd look dashing with your fur color. I have to disagree. I usually avoid dark colors because I hate emphasizing how white my face fur is. I look like some washed out phantom when I wear black. This would look great on a bright colored fur like Mark's, though, which is probably why he bought it. Let me try it on before I walk out. Walk out looking like a kid wearing his dad's coat. Huh? I'm not that tall. You're giant, sir. I mean, I know what you mean, Gray. Like, I get it, but you know, I took design classes. I get it, but it's not the worst coloring, you know. Like, for the most part, like, colors like that work with anything. Like, that's the way we make them. So, like, I get it. But, yeah, having, like, an actual white fur face, kind of, I get it. I slip into it and walk over to the mirror in the foyer. Somehow it fixed perfectly. Did he accidentally get the wrong size and forget to return it? Mark whistles at me, and I blush a little.
Wow, looking dapper, Mr. Gray. Told you it'd be a good fit.
Thanks. He walks behind me and leans in, his arms hanging over my chest and around my neck. He's a little heavy. I normally wouldn't mind, but it's hard to breathe with him on top of me like this.
Yep, it fits just how I remembered. Uncanny, really.
He mutters something under his breath I can't quite make out.
Hey, Gray.
He breathed in a little louder than intended and squeaked out a reply. I breathed in a little louder and squeaked out a reply. Yeah?
You don't have to sleep on my couch anymore. Not if you don't want to. My bed is big enough for both of us.
I don't know how to respond. The idea sounds lovely, but right now I feel overwhelmed by the weight of his body crushing me. I choked out another reply. Are you sure? Right as I start feeling lightheaded, he eases off of me and fixes my collar, smiling innocently.
Hospitality is the #1 priority of, El Casa de Mark.
He unlocks the door and waves me over.
Come along, then. Big days ahead of us.
I sigh in relief. I sigh in relief and follow him out, trying not to think about whatever that was. Yeah, it's fine. Oh. We get to see them this time. Okay. So don't look at me. I don't want to be found. I love you all. Gray. So, what do you make of this?
That's gotta be the most half-assed suicide note I've ever laid eyes on.
Right. It doesn't sound like him at all. And the handwriting is sloppy, too. Don't these things usually require multiple attempts?
Trash can's empty. Trash can's empty. So I guess he rushed it.
I don't think he's actually suicidal, but...
But...
What if he's serious?
What if he is? He's grown. It's his choice.
Et.
We both know he'd probably just run away again. A chicken-hearted guy like him can't go through with offing himself.
Then we should go out and find him before he gets too far.
No.
What is wrong with you? He's our...
Listen.
Is this Simon? Simon? Tell me in the comments if I'm pronouncing this wrong.
I know you like having him around, but we're not kids anymore. This ain't playtime. Let's be honest with ourselves. He's a mooch. He's taken advantage of your kindness, as well as Jean's greed. Maybe he ran on back to his daddy, crying and fussing, tired of pretending to be a city boy and running around with...
Maybe he just needed some distance from you. It wasn't easy for him to focus on work with you coming around all the time.
You say that, but aren't we in the same boat? Oh, I remember. How you couldn't stop crying after he and I got together. Gray broke your heart, Simon.
That's in the past. I've moved on.
Then maybe the past is where he should stay. He could be good. This could be good for both of us.
He left a note because he wanted to be found. His heart isn't in it. I know it. At least, I know I'd want someone to try and find me.
You never give up, do you? Well, this storm ain't letting up anytime soon. We should get going before he does anything stupid. Well, more stupid than this.
Right, let's go. We hop in the elevator and start the minute and a half long trip down. So, what are you showing me first?
Well, you're new here, so I wanted to show you the staple of the city. Empire State, Statue of Liberty, all that jazz.
The door opens and we head outside. Mark manages to wave down a taxi rather quickly and we pile in.
First up, Times Square. After that, Empire State's a short walk over.
Swell, twofer. What's Town Square like?
Imagine it. Rows of... Imagine it. Final turn. Rows of bright flashing neon lights as far as the eye can see. Billboards the size of buildings. See thrilling stage shows at the Broadway Theater.
His eyes sparkle with admiration. I nod at his every word, hardly able to contain myself, waiting to arrive at these promised lands. I'm no stranger to an urban landscape, but New Orleans is nothing like this. From what I've seen, this city seemed to ooze culture and... opulence? Opulence? That's the word. Out of every alley. His voice, his singing voice wasn't bad either. A smoky tenor. Oh, okay. That resonates pleasantly throughout our tiny carriage. His deep voice was, in no doubt, partly due to the cigarettes I recall him smoking in that strange place. Back when we first met. And his card also had him smoking. It occurs to me that he's refrained from lighting up since I've joined him. Perhaps he's quitting for his New Year's resolution. I remember how on edge Edian was when he tried to quit and shudder. His temper's short enough as it is. The guy practically bit our heads off any time we asked how it was going. When Ed wanted to hurt someone, he went for the throat every time. That last fight, if Simon wasn't there. Suddenly the taxi screeched to a halt and the driver flicked the ticker off.
Here you guys. That'll be 175, pal.
Mark throws much more than the required amount through the collection window as we leapt out into the world. We're here. Times Square. What adventures await? Live girls. Nimble vixen. That's what we're doing. What the hell is this place? The streets are littered with trash and almost no people are out. A bitter wind whips up through the narrow streets, and I tuck my head in, putting the collar of my new coat over my sensitive ears. I had only just recovered from my previous bout of frostbite, and my fleshy bits were still pretty raw. Mark notices and pulls me close, locking an arm around me, and stuffs his hand into my pocket to cover mine.
Do you mind if I steal a little heat?
I shake my head. His hands was pretty warm, and I think I was actually the one benefiting from it. I expected more people.
Well, it is Monday. Maybe if we walk further up.
As we stroll down the icy sidewalk, I look to my left. I see some of those neon signs Mark was raving about earlier. Girls, girls, girls. Peep show. A curvy feline wearing only an overcoat and heels beckons an older badger into one of the shops. He looks around suspiciously before sliding off a ring and darting inside. A few bums lay outside, slumped over in various states of undress, drinking out of a bottles covered by brown paper. One is pantsless and fully splayed, lazily jerking himself off in broad daylight. We lock eyes, and he smiles at me with all four of his remaining teeth.
Hey, Toots, looking for something to shove in that big ol' snot of yours?
No. He laughs and helicopters his filthy dick at me.
I got me all day, sucker. Right here, pal.
Mark pulls me aside and flips the vagrant off. That's a good face. Before turning back with me with an exasperated look on his face. Are you sure this is the same Times Square you were talking about, Mark?
Well, let's walk down this way instead. Less scenic, but much safer.
We about face and start jogging down the avenue. Mark pulled me along so hard I almost ate dirt tumbling off into a snowbank. Hey, slow down a bit.
Yes, of course. I meant to drop us off on 7th, not 8th. Silly me, we're almost there.
We round the corner so fast I almost knocked into a trash can.
Okay, here we are. The theater district.
I'm excited, recalling the private show Mark gave me. The idea of seeing big-time stars on Broadway instead of randos in a dingy club made me giddy. Unless it was Simon, of course. She always knocked it out of the park. We walk past a concert hall, and I run over to the lists. Who's playing? Gershwin?
Afraid he's been dead for quite some time.
Ouch, okay. Of all the shocks to my system, that one hurts the most. I see the list of Barbara Streisand. No clue who that is. Yo, same. So I move towards... I've heard this name before. I don't know who that is, though. So I move on towards the playbill. All right. Well, who's big right now? Is Talia Bankhead still performing?
Okay, now I know you weren't lying yesterday. Sheesh.
I told you.
It looks like all that's playing is a matinee of Sweet Charity. You know Fosse?
He does a jazzy little gesture with his hands. No, but I hope he sees a doctor about that tick. Okay. He chuckles, and we round the corner into Main Street. There's more people around now, and none of them hobo flashers variety.
Well, here it is, the source of all the postcards.
I look up, expecting to see the sea of dazzling lights Mark described, billboards the size of my house and dancing neon. I'll give him one thing, the lights are on. But it's 11 in the morning.
It looks better at night.
You don't say. I feel bad. I could easily imagine how great this would look in the dark, but after seeing how sketchy the regulars are, I wouldn't want to stick around to see them.
Gray, I
hear music and my ears perk. Huh? Someone with a guitar is playing for tips down the block, and I veer off in that direction. Mark whines, upset that things aren't going to plan. Come on, it's something at least.
I guess.
He concedes, and we keep walking. The guitarist is a husky wearing a cowboy hat, playing old folk songs for a growing crowd of people. The music wasn't anything special, but his voice was nice, and I found myself tapping my feet.
This isn't so bad.
At least we
don't have to wait in line.
See, I told you. Suddenly, a coyote, also in a cowboy hat, rushes up behind him and knocks the husky to the ground. The guitar smashed on the ground, strings snapping with a discordant twang.
You son of a bitch! You stole my fucking act!
The crowd gasps.
Damn it! Oh, who the hell do you think you are?
They started wrestling on the ground, knocking the tip jar over. Some of the crowd flees in terror, while others scramble to pick up the loose change. This music looks really loud on the levels, so I'm going to turn that down slightly. I usually like it about there. But I guess I can't listen to it how it sounds while recording, so it is what it is. Fists start to fly, and eventually some cops run out of the nearby coffee shop, breaking up the fight and landing a few hits of their own.
All right, you two, you get it out of your system. Congratulations, you just bought yourselves 2 tickets to the coziest cell in Rickers.
They roughly handcuffed them behind the back and herd them back down the street. The taller cop knocks the coyote onto the floor, laughing as he struggles to get up without the use of his arms. He's a bloody mess. His hips busted and both eyes swelled shut. It's hard to tell whether it's from the squabble or the arrest. The cops pass by us and shoot him a dirty look. I must have been given one back. The shorter cop pushes the husky onto his partner and sizes me up.
You got something to say, half and half?
Before I can respond, Mark steps up between us and nudges me in the opposite direction.
We don't want any trouble.
He turns and whispers to me, not breaking eye contact with the officer.
Let's get out of here.
I nod, still scowling at the pigeon, who's resting a hand on his nightstick. The other, a falcon, keeps his eyes trained on us as well.
Have a nice day, sir.
There's a palpable venom on the last word. The bird grunts and walks away from us. I hear the coyote yelp behind me, followed by the slam of the door as we escaped unscathed. Okay. If he had so much as looked sideways at Mark. Well, maybe I just have given him a piece of my mind. I don't think I'd win that fight. Probably wouldn't do me any good if I get locked up on my second day anyway. I'm not surprised at the aggression from the police at all. Whatever small amount of privilege possums have from our pale faces is meaningless against unabashed racists with power. Mark's fists are shaking as I follow him through the crowd. We walk in silence for a while. The mood has shifted to so much in just a few minutes, and the day has had only just begun. I can tell Mark is in a bad mood by how fast he's walking, not even checking if I'm still behind him. I feel a little bad, even though it was ultimately out of our control. Mark mutters something under his breath.
Just had to go see the dog and pony show, huh?
I jog a bit to catch up with him and try to get his attention. I have to practically step in front of him, but eventually he stops and sighs to himself. Mark, stop! He stops, walking to stare at the ground, unable to look at me. I wasn't trying to cause problems. That cop was just such a...
No, it's not that. You were right to be upset. They were assholes.
Then why are you...
It's nothing, look. We just came on an off day, that's all. It wasn't supposed to be like this.
Okay, sure. Neither of us are to blame, though. Shit happens sometimes. He looks at me with a concerned expression.
I just...
Need a smoke?
Huh?
I chuckle and pantomime puffing an imaginary cigarette. I know you smoke, Mark. I could smell it all over your clothes, the apartment. Maybe your breath, if I'm lucky.
Well, I didn't want to impose.
Mark, it's fine. Everyone I know smokes cigarettes. I'm used to it. He sighs, pulling a loose one out from his coat's breast pocket.
I just feel bad subjecting you to secondhand smoke is all. Lung cancer, you know.
Huh. But my doctor smokes.
So does mine.
After a flash from his lighter, he takes a deep drag and sighs, smoke billowing out of his nostrils like twin dragons.
Whew. Anyway, that's not what I was going to say.
What then?
I just really wanted to impress you.
You already have. Besides, you can't control the entire city. There are weirdos everywhere. He nods, but doesn't seem convinced. I place my hand on his shoulder and give him a gentle squeeze. We still have 2 sights to see. The day is young. Come on, don't give up. His eyes brighten, and he smiles back weakly. He puts out his cigarette and cranes his neck, looking at the street signs.
Well, in that case, we're already on 33rd Street. We just have to walk down to 5th Avenue, and we'll be at the Empire State Building.
He points up at the giant building that's been looming over us the whole day. I even saw it from Mark's apartment, miles away from here. Unlike the other skyscrapers I've seen, it doesn't instill the same primal sense of fear in me. Despite being the tallest, something about it being that big just makes sense cosmically, like a Big Ben or the Eiffel Tower. We approach the base, and there are small groups of people scattered about, some taking pictures while others simply gawk at it.
Let's take a better look, shall we?
I nod and walk over to the door. I stand as close to them as I can and look straight up. Fuck, that's trippy. I can't even see the top anymore. Mark comes to join me and chuckles.
Would you believe the elevator to the top takes less time than my buildings?
There's no way that's true. Wait, does it?
Only one way to find out.
I feel a tap on my shoulder and turn around to see a mouse dressed in what looks like a bellhop uniform, only with a military-style cap. Welcome to the world's tallest building. Would you like a photo? We glanced at each other and nod in unison. I love mementos like these, even if it'll take a while to get the film developed. All right, you two, stand right on this stop. Perfect. Say cheese. 1, 2, 3. Good job. Oh, that's a good face. I'm seeing stars. I wasn't expecting that little camera to have such a big flash. So, where do we go to pick up the photo? As I say this, I notice a white paper come out of the front. She pulls it out and starts shaking it. Just give me a minute here, and it'll be good to go. Huh?
Aren't Polaroids great?
Yeah, totally.
Great. Are you saying you've never taken an instant photo before? Before?
I guess I am. Yeah. Is that weird? I'm never gonna get used to the upgrade in technology, but shouldn't Mark find my rejection a little strange?
Huh, nah. And either way, now you have.
That was a little too easy. The guide hands me the photo and runs off, spotting another group who just arrived.
Wow, a color model too. Not too shabby. Let me take a look.
He hangs over me and I angle it so he can see. Do we get to see? Oh no, that's so cute. Oh. Okay. Wow, it really is instant and in color. It's like a mini painting. And I show up in it. Guess it's only reflections that are affected. I should have thought about that before, actually. This could have ruined everything if it ended up showing Mark standing alone. At least I know what I look like now. Not ideal, but not a wreck either. Mark looks good though. No surprise. He does look really cute though, guys. Mark pockets the photo, and we head inside to the lobby. Everything is made of marble and brass, and the Art Deco design fit perfectly with the color scheme. Welcome! First time here? Yes, actually. I have a question. Of course, ask away. I look around to make sure Mark's not in earshot. Earshot? I see him admiring some framed photos on the other side of the room, so I think I'm in the clear. I lean in to whisper, is it true? Go on. That they used to land, dirigibles on the roof of this building. The man I came with kept insisting the whole way to here. The Martin laughs, elbowing his coworker to jest as she chuckles along with him. Oh boy, a sucker's born every minute. Excuse me? She wipes the tear away and reaches under the desk, pulling out a photo to me. I gasp. It shows a blimp almost the length of the building, docking at the top. Some wise guy doctored this back in the 30s and got a rumor going. Sure, there were talks about it, but it obviously is a terrible idea. Aircrafts and tall buildings don't mix. I nod, wondering if Mark was pulling my leg or genuinely believed the rumor. I thank the attendant and walk over to the sitting area, Mark standing by. He's staring at the schematics of the building's construction. I'd seen plenty of those in my dad's workshop. Contractors would bring over plans and go over the required materials piece by piece before he'd settle on a price. Are you a fan of blueprints? Yup. They have this lovely mathematical quality to them, where art meets function, you know. There's a piece in our museum's vault that I've begged Mr. Cartwright to pull out for auction, but he just won't budge. That's a bummer. Yes, well, I have a plan. I asked Lauren, she's the head of the conventions department, to select it for the holiday party's charity auction. Wow, can she do that? Technically, her role as an event coordinator overrides our boss's, since the auction is actually funded by a non-for-profit organization. It's foolproof. Excuse me. He smiles slyly, clearly proud of his master plan coming together. Guess Mark can be a little conniving when he needs to be. I don't mind, as long as he doesn't try to use that big brain to mess with me. Well, we've seen everything in the lobby. What's next? Oh, well, we've seen everything in the lobby. What's next? Whoops. He points at a row of gilded elevators behind me. Only way is up, come on! We headed into one of the elevators, and to my surprise, it has an attendant waiting inside. Guess it's not a dead career after all. Observation deck, please. The door closes, and the machine lurches upwards faster than expected. I'm imagining the floors that must be zipping by second, and grip the hand railing, feeling dizzy. I was wrong. This is still terrifying. Big buildings are bad. I feel that. I don't like being in tall buildings. I'll be honest. Every time I go into like a hotel and it's like, yeah, you're on floor like 18, I'm like, oh. Like, it just feels bad. I always have the curtains closed when I'm on vacation because I'm just like, I don't want to look down. I don't go on the balcony. That's shut, locked, permanent. I know. Oh, geez, are you all right? You know what always makes me feel better. What? On a trip down, you can jump
and get some hang time for a second. Pretty cool, huh?
Yep, very cool. This was a terrible idea. I'm seriously close to losing my lunch. Have you eaten lunch? Thankfully, I see the elevator stop and the doors open. I walk out and get a hit with a blast of cold air. The strong wind practically pushes me back into the car. Oh God, we're outside. Why are we outside?
Come on, you can see the whole city from up here.
I cling against the wall for dear life. We're on the roof. The top floor I can't even see from the ground. From this perspective, it looks like we're floating in the sky, and all the other buildings are gone. Mark bravely walks forward to the flimsy-looking guardrail to take a look. Mark, be careful.
Don't worry, come over. Let's try to find my house.
Even just imagining looking down from there sends a shiver through my body, and I slide down the wall to the cold floor. I don't think that's a great idea.
Whoa, oh man, what a rush! Can you believe they used to land blimps up here?
Help!
Oh shit!
Okay, but that's a cute face. He rushes back over and helps me up. I can't help but cling to his sleeve like a child. It feels like the next strong breeze will knock me over the side and send me tumbling to my death.
Why didn't you tell me you were afraid of heights?
I've never been this high up before.
What about a plane?
You've never flown on a plane? No? I'm getting annoyed. Why is he making this sound like my fault again? I just want to get the hell off of this roof before I pass out. I'm going back down. Sorry, I can't do this.
Hey, it's fine. Let's go together, okay?
I nod, and we wait for the elevator to come back up. He stands behind and shields me from the wind with his broad back. His long arms caging me like a safety net. It works, and thankfully the next elevator is also empty. We rush in and ride it down. Mark resists trying out his hang time trick and continues to rub my back until we reach the ground floor. Ugh, solid earth. I'm shivering as I walk by the welcome booth. The Martin shoots Mark a dirty look, silently accusing him of traumatizing me. He mouths sorry and holds the door open. I rush out of the building to head over to the trash can, hacking up all the spit that had formed from my pre-vomit induced retching. Mark waits patiently for me by the door, looking upset once again. Alright, so this didn't go very well either. At least I can brag to everyone back home that I stood 102 stories high and lived. Eddie would just be impressed I didn't try to jump off. When I can breathe easy again, I walk over to the big lug and gently punch his shoulder.
Hey!
I feel a lot better now, thanks.
Thanks? I'm the one that put you through this in the first place. I feel awful.
This one's on me, alright? Just no more tall buildings.
Not even my house?
One exception. He straightens up, rewarding me with another big smile.
I guess we don't have to go to the top of the Statue of Liberty, then.
I gulp, knowing that another surprise like that would have fully set me over the edge. Maybe we should just skip that for now. As fun as that sounds.
Huh? Well, that was the final stop on my tour. What else do you want to do?
Before I can answer, my stomach growls. This is still my favorite portrait of Gray. It is cute. Lunch would be fine. Nice.
Hey, I can go for some chow, too. Let me find my phone. Find a phone, and I'll call up one of my usual places for a reservation.
Wow, a reservation? Seems awfully fancy for a casual day out, but I guess this is just how Mark operates. Back at the manor, we had cooks fixing our meals, but lunch was hardly ever more than soup or a sandwich. I don't know how long this update is, but I think I'll cut this part here. Yeah. I'll see you around, everyone.